It's hard.
Do we all agree on this or not?
Well, either that or Yale. Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry. At the end of each one, I'll do this.
Yes, that way we don't have to pass it around because Passover comes in April. We have to do it now. Is it Wardo in town? Good. On his way. Good, good. And it'll be here for at least a couple days. Oh, Brooklyn. Okay. All right. Is he the Chabad guy or not Chabad? Is- Well, Chabad is Orthodox. Orthodox. You're saying Chabad is. He's so Haredi. He only eats gravel. He gravel, but for only from certain gravel pits. Right? Can't have every kind of gravel. So what made him? What made him so needy? Yeah, I will shut it off. So what made him?
Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul.
Hashivenu.
Hashivenu, Adonai, Elecha v'nashuva. Chadesh yameinu, Chadesh yameinu, Chadesh yameinu, kekedem. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul.
thank you all for returning again for this opening act for the evening's observance of Selichot. Our Nishmat Hayyim representatives are Yocheved Sheila Katz, Reb Moshe. I'm Bobby Isberg, and Reggie Silverberg will be joining us on Zoom. And Nishmat Hayyim is our Breath of Life Jewish meditation group at TBZ. So we have 45 minutes together, and rather than having a full 45-minute sit and knowing that people will be coming in at different intervals, we're going to have 3 15-minute meditations, each with a little introduction. And then we'll have a 15-minute break so that the people who come in schmoozing will not be disturbed by our silence. So the high holiday services can feel like a great wave of words crashing down on us. And yet we're always reminded that there are no words for Yud He Vav He. There's no way to pronounce Yud He Vav He or describe Yud He Vav He. In other words, we have to tune in to imagine our own personal connection with Yud He Vav He, which is an experience that no one can describe with words. And yet, of course, in Jewish practice, our relationship with words is complicated. We learn that words make things happen. God spoke and the world came into being. The children of Israel suffered in bondage in Egypt for centuries, and it was only when we cried out that God heard our cries and set in motion the process of liberation. And tonight, we're reminded that in order to be forgiven, we have to ask for forgiveness, acknowledge our shortcomings, put them into words, speak them out loud to the ones we've hurt. Our high holiday service has lots of words to describe all the ways we miss the mark, al-chet. And we confess to more shortcomings than any one person could possibly do, but as a community, we have all of those shortcomings. But how do we know that we've missed the mark? In order to pick up on that, we need to be tuned into what is happening in each moment in our interactions. We need to pick up on all the nonverbal signals that tell us if we've hurt someone's feelings. And so we're instructed to sit in silence for an hour each day in the month of Elul. And as we sit, we tune in to all sensations, not just to listen to the words in our head. Words can lie to us. We learn how to bring awareness and honesty to our self-reflection with compassion, self-compassion, rather than harsh judgment. Rabbi Alan Liu of blessed memory, who continues to guide us through the high holiday cycle with his book, This Is Real, and You Are Completely Unprepared, reminds us that self-forgiveness is the essential act of the high holiday season. Yet, as much as we may be able to forgive others, we usually can't forgive ourselves. And that is why we call on Yud He Vav He for forgiveness. Because forgiveness is something we feel in the context of a relationship. We feel forgiven, we feel loved in a relationship. And so we call on our relationship with Yud He Vav He to feel forgiven, seen, accepted, just as we are. And we bring that Yud He Vav He awareness to ourselves, seeing ourselves exactly as we are, accepting ourselves just as we are, by just being with and being aware of the present moment experience of this living body, this living, breathing body. And so, as always, arranging the body to support our awareness practice, feeling ourselves hugged to Mother Earth by gravity, allowing the earth to hold our weight, feeling the feet, the sitting bones held up by the earth. Finding some balance between moving front and back, side to side, so that the spine can rise from the pelvis with its natural curve, opening the breath, opening the chest to each breath. Bringing awareness to just this experience, the direct sensation of the breathing, living body. Whether we feel the breath most vividly in one spot, like the belly, or whether we just pay attention to wherever the breath is most vivid in each moment. Words arise as they always do. The mind secretes thoughts, just like the salivary gland secretes saliva. We can't stop the thoughts. Can we let them come and go without holding on, without pushing them away, allowing the words to be like skywriting across the sky, to arise and dissolve? And holding each other in silent awareness.
Testing. Is it on? Hey. Okay. So tonight, Selichot, we confront complex tendencies in this being human. On one hand, oh, it's
You're
on.
on.
How's this? I'll try to keep it that way. Just go like that if I start. On one hand, we fail to live up to the standards that we set for ourselves or that our society or our chevra set for us. And on the other hand, we fail to forgive ourselves and others for the ways that we and they and this world has fallen short. That's why in this moment of the sacred holiday calendar, it's necessarily communal. I'm not alone in my ignorance and my sorrow. I can't fulfill alone what Selichot asks of me, to open my heart, to cry out my need to come close to that which is breathing me into being in this moment. The ego has a tendency to blow itself up bigger and more at fault than it may actually be. And there's an equal and opposite tendency to make less of the messes we make. We brush them aside and let them pile up. So on this evening of Selichot, we find a middle way between, on one hand, the horrors of our own and our society's misdemeanors, and on the other hand, mistaking ignorance of our sins for blamelessness. So this is where meditation, I think, comes in handy and maybe is even necessary. In our practice, we open up to whatever is being experienced in this moment, whether it's emotional, tactile, or a train of thought. We bring kindness and curiosity to what is arising inside us and all around us, in stillness and in silence. For these few moments throughout the journey, that's the high holidays, we awaken to how the divine is guiding us in this moment. What is asking to be noticed right now? It might be a kvetch, it might be a hope, it might be a disappointment, it might be anything. And it's welcomed, right? That's the idea of everything that arises into consciousness has a place here that we can hold with kindness, with curiosity. How does the heart yearn to open or habitually flee from the embrace of this divine unfolding? Can we commit to return, to teshuvah, or shuv, to turn, to return, to be turned, back into the wordless, formless breath, Nishmat Hayyim? To this very breath of life, to this ruach, this invisible, unnameable spirit upon which our lives depend, simply return, this breath and the next. We pay attention to the arising, the abiding, and the passing of sight or smell or sound or thought or physical feelings. And we notice that, yes, it's like this right now, including the wish that it was different, right? So may these next 10 days, starting with this evening, be a time of opening the heart, of noticing what's around us and who's around us, and that we are one body that is moving through this time in this holy space together. And take this moments of silence that you need and can, and open to the waterfall of words that will lift us and bring us close to each other and to the one who is breathing us now. Where is it? Do you know what to do? Want me to tell him? Where's it coming from?
Every time we return to our breath from wherever thoughts are going and, we hear sounds, etc. When you come back, that's an act of tshuva. You've returned to a core place, heart place. So you're doing tshuva all the time. If you just come back to your breath and realize it's not about thinking. It's not a philosophy exercise. It's basically experiencing what is happening right now. Just wrote a few notes here for myself. Can you everybody hear? Yeah? Okay. 1 second, here it comes. Okay, I'll have to do it without those. We often talk so much at this season about forgiveness, about being slighted by someone or having slights against us. But I also want to encourage you that this is also a wonderful time to be thankful and grateful for those people who love and support you. Who, particularly, I find that one of the challenges in many of the tshuva process is family and friends, not necessarily people that you are estranged from or you had some sort of fight with. It's basically that we constantly, in our lack of consciousness, if you will, are always doing things that could be very upsetting to people, even if we don't mean it to be. So it's not just people that you have had a difficulty with, but it's people who in the everyday of life, as you know, get a little PO'd at you, and you get PO'd at them. And that's the kind of forgiveness that you find within love and support. And sure, we have other issues. The flow of life, we've had many debts that we have accumulated all through our lives. And it's hard to pay them all off, in one shot. And basically what we're aiming for is how do we connect? And this is very important. There is a cosmic flow of energy. There's a cosmic flow that we know we can even feel viscerally when we're in nature, the interconnectedness of all things. And what stops that flow, and this is really Yocheved mentioned it earlier, but what really is a real obstacle to keep that flow going is our egos. Ego is a very necessary thing. Without ego, according to our tradition, you wouldn't build anything. You wouldn't produce anything. You need a little bit of ego to be proud of something you've accomplished. A building you built, a family you built, that's fine, and we need it. However, too much ego, Lord, works as a stopper for the channeling. So when the Beit HaMikdash stood and the priests and the Kohanim would get up every day and give the priestly blessing, the way they had to do it was by emptying themselves. They had to sort of say, I'm not going to let my ego, I'm the Kohen, hey, and you're not, right? If that ego rose, it basically would make it impossible for us to be channels of blessing. We want to be channels of blessing to each other. We don't do that enough. We do it a little bit in a ritual way when we bless our children on Friday nights. And I just want to say, there are many people who have told me that their entire attachment to Yiddishkeit, to Judaism, was based upon the fact that they felt blessed by their parents. That they felt that their parents gave them these blessings without ego, freely, with a flowing channel of love. And that's very effective. So when we say meditation, we're not saying, remove yourself from the world. On the contrary, we're hoping that by sitting, yeshiva, we're in a yeshiva now. We're sitting in yeshiva. We're sitting and sitting, right? That in this sitting, we get the centering we need to go out there and realize we can operate without necessarily an overinflated ego. So meditation tries to puncture pomposity. And we tend towards that, by the way. Self-aggrandizement, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a simple thing, but it's not easy. And that's what I always keep telling people. Yes, meditation, what do? You sit and be quiet? Is that it? I said, no, it's more than that. It's basically becoming aware. Becoming observant, observing. And in that observation, to realize that there are imperatives that come out of that observation. Halavai should only be that everyone did a mitzvah, not because it was told that they have to do it or it was written in a book, but they would do the mitzvah because it comes out of this flow of channel of blessing and love. That really is an effective way that the mitzvah not only affects he or she who receives it, but also affects ourselves. So it's never finished, this process. As much as we'll sing after Yom Kippur and we'll hear the shofar go, hey, we made it up. Right? The bottom line is never ends, this process. The minute we go from one stage, the stage again begins. We are constantly, if looking for ways to find a way to, if you will, pay off our spiritual debt. And I would hope that in our sitting together tonight, it prepares us for Selichot and the multitude of words. So for people like myself who are rabbis and this and that, meditation has become for me an antidote to being overwhelmingly inundated by words. And I would hope that all of us benefit from this, and it gives you a little taste. And if you want more, there's more. Just we don't want you to get overstuffed tonight. Yes, there's more. Okay, so we'll spend the next few moments in silence.
May our shared practice help us develop compassion for ourselves and for each other, and to appreciate the sacredness of being alive and present in each moment.
The next part of the program will begin in 15 minutes, so the talk by Rabbi Jessica Meyer, and that will be followed at 11:30 with Selichot. So I'm glad you're all here, and I trust that you will have a sweet, healthy, and a happy year as possible. We need it. Boy, we need it. So Shana Tova.